Atom Smasher is what happens when a sociopath goes full cyborg. What if Arasaka could fabricate someone just as strong but completely brainwashed? The ending of Cyberpunk Edgerunners made it painfully clear that no one has a happy ending in Night City. In this short video, I'll present my case that David is still alive, but his fate is worse than death. At the end of Edgerunners, we didn't get solid confirmation that David was flatlined for good. Instead, we got a splash transition which I believe to be intentionally deceiving, especially since they intentionally misled us more than twice in the show already.
I didn't do it!
So what happened then? Well, we know David is worth more to Arasaka alive than dead. It's hard for me to believe Arasaka would pull the plug on David the way it was implied in the ending. It would be incredibly wasteful for a highly efficient corporation like Arasaka to let go of their valuable specimen. They finally get someone gifted enough to handle the suit, and they're just gonna off him like that? They have way too much to gain from keeping David alive, obtaining data on the cyberskeleton, studying David's tolerance, and of course making him into a super weapon. Not to mention using him to lure out Lucy. She's one of Arasaka's darkest secrets, and they definitely want to keep it that way if you catch my drift. It's my belief that Arasaka, a corporation with top-of-the-line tech, wouldn't let their glorified guinea pig go to waste. All of this depends on what happened to David at the end of episode 10. Here are the different potential scenarios that could play out and what I believe really happened. Number 1. Atom Smasher killed David. Adam Sandler flatlining David, believe it or not, is the second best case scenario here. Why would Adam do this? Does he kill David out of boredom or something more? There are lingering theories such as he did it out of jealousy, thinking David would replace him. Others speculate he did it out of respect, to spare David a life of enslavement to Arasaka, for giving him a proper challenge. As cool as these theories are, it's not what I think happened. Number 2. David is experimented on. Arasaka calls off Adam Sandler last minute and preserves his body for research. They use the data to better understand what gives certain people higher tolerances than others to create more advanced products. This seems much more likely and plays into Arasaka's true interests. Still, I believe they would take it even further. Number 3. David becomes the next Smasher. Imagine having to fight a full mecha David in a Cyberpunk DLC, or having him be the villain in Season 2 of the anime. Atom Smasher is in full control of his mind and acts of his own volition. This makes him a wild card in the eyes of Arasaka, and likely to be replaced. David seems like the first perfect match to fill his shoes, although this time he'd be completely manipulated by the corporation. It'd be really painful to see David as a slave to the corporation he despised. Number 4. David is used to lure out Lucy. Being used as an attack dog with no will of his own, David would be used to bait out his lover Lucy. She's their prized netrunner with lots of secrets and the ability to surf the old net. It seems extremely likely Arasaka would opt for a win-win for themselves like this. They create a new, more reliable Atom Smasher and get rid of their secret escapee netrunner. 2 birds with 1 stone. Number 5. David is forced to kill Lucy. The absolute worst case scenario. David, after enduring immeasurable torture and experimentation, is stripped of his free will and is forced to kill his lover. An ending like this actually sounds like an equally as bleak and dark ending as Season 1. It's not out of the question. This would be a fate far worse than death, as he would become the same ruthless, violent machine that he swore hatred towards at the beginning of the anime, on top of taking the life of the last person who gave him hope. Number 6. Lucy saves David. Arasaka using David to capture and/or kill Lucy could backfire. David is a person with an indomitable spirit, so I could see him fighting the brainwashing and escaping somehow. Lucy was able to bring back David from the verge of full-on cyberpsychosis. This could be the ending that would please both the creators and the fans. David is alive, enslaved by Arasaka, and forced to do horrendous things, but is brought back to humanity by Lucy. And who knows, maybe there could be a happy ending in Night City. Maybe Lucy gives up her humanity to be with David in the net. Or they could just both die in a grandiose blaze of glory, finally sticking it to Arasaka once and for all. David has a huge parallel to Johnny Silverhands. They both have a netrunner as their lover who gets abducted. They're both killed by Atom Smasher, and in the exact same way. Johnny was preserved as an engram, which happened years before the events of Edgerunners. All paths lead to David still being alive in my book, but sadly it would most likely be bad news for David. At first glance, the ending to Season 1 seems incredibly sad and morbid, but hear me out when I say that this was actually a happy ending. David was able to take on the corporation he felt responsible for his mom's death. He got revenge on the man who betrayed his crew. He went toe-to-toe with the boogeyman and legend of Night City. He was able to set up his lover financially and ensure that she was able to live out her dream for the both of them. It even appears he beat cyberpsychosis. This is not even mentioning the fact that he went down as a legend himself and flew higher than he ever thought he could. David didn't die. Whether it happens when Atom Smasher shoots him, or as an Arasaka mandroid, David will die when he is forgotten. And that's not going to happen for quite a while. I'm Bumper Jumper, dedicated to exploring the deepest and most profound stories in anime, video games, movies, and TV shows. I'd love to hear your theories and opinions on this, so make sure to geek out in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.